it was 2012, at the age of 12, that you then became one of a very, very exclusive club, one that you never want to get into. 1 in 7 billion, 5 people on the planet have Langerhans cell sarcoma. What's that?
There's not a lot of research into it, so I'm not too sure on what it is. It's very confusing.
Yeah.
So the treatment that you were facing that the doctors recommended was a bone marrow transplant?
Yeah, it was extensive chemo and radiotherapy, and then, yeah, and then bone marrow transplant.
And you didn't have just one transplant, this was 3 that you had to have, and how did you get on with that?
Well, they failed, the first 3. But yeah, it's not too trouble. So it's not a big problem to have them. So.
But then after that, this is, I mean, as a mum, because he then really began to suffer. You have to watch him suffer. How bad was it?
Well, after the 4th transplant, they told us that, you know, the first 3 had failed, and literally all they had was 1 more chance for him. They had 1 more bag of his own cells, no more. They were, you know, they'd stressed the thing to us that there was no more chances after this. And unfortunately, 3 days after he had his final transplant, he trapped his fingers down the side of the bed and then picked up some infections. Now, obviously, infections with no immune system whatsoever, and no way for an immune system to even start to build within his body. He was literally being kept alive by antibiotics. That's what they told us. He did get incredibly ill. Throughout his whole treatment, he'd been very happy and smiley, and he'd always tried to be quite jovial, but actually those last couple of months were very, very difficult. He was in a lot of pain.
You were given, I think, 3 days.
3 days a week at most is what they told me when I asked them the time scale.
But you planned your funeral, hadn't you?
Yeah.
To what extent?
All of it.
What were you going to do?
It was going to be fancy dress, and I'd chosen all the costumes for people, and it was going to be quite embarrassing for some of the people to come, so, yeah.
You actually said you wanted to go.
Yeah, I did.
He was looking forward to it.
After 4 years of treatment, it's enough.
Enough was enough. And so this story then takes an entirely different turn. How did that happen?
Through lots of research, I'd done lots of research. Obviously, when his secondary cancer arrived and it was so unknown, I turned to the internet and started looking. And over the following months and couple of years afterwards, cannabis just kept popping up. People kept emailing me, "You need to try this. You need to." And I said, "But he hasn't got cancer. You know, the cancers are gone. This is now a completely different issue. It won't work for him." And I would dismiss it and dismiss it. And it actually came to the point where I was in hospital with Darren, and he was so incredibly ill and really on a high dose of morphine that he was actually now on fentanyl, which they can't go any further than that. And it wasn't working against his hands and the other issues he had with his stomach. And I asked the doctor for Bedrocan, which is a cannabis-based pain relief that's available in Europe, because I didn't, you know, I wanted to go through the proper measures. And she actually told me we can't because it hasn't been licensed for children. So, you know, and more of it came up. People just kept saying, and I thought, do you know what? What have we got to lose?
And you've got nothing to lose at that
He's dying anyway, you know, so...
They just withdrawn your antibiotics. At this point, there was no other treatment.
No.
So you took this, and you asked him, and you said, yeah, let's try it.
I was happy to.
What did you notice? How quickly did things change?
Oh, my God. I mean, I honestly, the effects of it blew my mind. It wasn't what I expected. All I expected was done a little bit of research, and some people use cannabis to kind of alleviate their anxiety and some pain, and that's what Darren was really experiencing. And on day 70, when they said there's definitely nothing in his bone marrow, there's nothing there, you've now just got to wait, Darren got very anxious and said, well, how much longer do I have to wait? They started to try and up the morphine, introduce sleeping tablets, and so that's when I actually gave it. And within half an hour to an hour...
How was it administered?
Under the tongue, sublingually. It's just a tincture. It's not the oil that people talk about. It was just a tincture.
Then what did you notice?
We noticed within half an hour to an hour that he was just chilled out. He just relaxed. The anxiety stopped. He no longer was panicking, and he was able to be compos mentis, which he wasn't able to be on the morphine.
But health-wise, I mean, actually things being tested against you, your white blood cells began to go up.
Yeah, after 5 days. Obviously, they told us nothing in his bone marrow. So gave it to him 5 days later, when the bandages came off his hand and we saw healthy fingers, which we were told there was no way they were under there. When we saw a healthy finger, obviously the doctors started panicking. This was now day 75 after the transplant.
And he was meant to only be there for three days.
Yeah, and nobody has ever engrafted after 50 days. So day 75, and all of a sudden his white count has appeared. The doctors start running around frantically. Doctors from Bristol Children's Hospital were called in to do some more blood tests, which I said, well, there's no point. You told me only a week ago there's nothing there. And obviously, yeah, in the blood count, it was there. It's very small, but it was there.
And to test the theory, you actually withdrew the cannabis
After
for a little while,
I did,
and the blood count started to go down again.
Yeah.
So where are you now? How are you now?
Perfectly healthy.
I mean,
my bloods are all normal.
You stress this.
Yeah.
This doesn't work for everybody. This is
No.
not a cure.
No,
This
it's
is
not.
something that worked for you.
And you could be prosecuted, let's be honest.
Well, the law, under current laws in England and Wales, cannabis is not registered as having any therapeutic value. Anyone using the drug, even for medical reasons, could be charged for possession. Possession carrying a maximum sentence of 5 years in jail or an unlimited fine. Fascinating story.
really is.
We're
So
so
glad
happy that
you're so
you're
well.
here and healthy.
Amazing.
Good luck with the diner. He wants to open his own vegan American
If anyone wants to
themed
give him
diner.
an apprenticeship as a chef, then, you know, please. He's dying to
Who would,
become an
who would not
apprentice.
want to give an
I know,
apprenticeship to the
absolutely.
boy in 7 billion?
Yeah, totally.
There you go, buddy. There you go.
Reaction has been swift since yesterday's Supreme Court of Canada ruling expanding the definition of medical marijuana. It now means pot brownies, cannabis oil, all legal for people with a prescription. It was welcome news for some parents, including Alex Rapetsky, whose daughter Gwen has epilepsy. He's been giving her cannabis oil 3 times a day to help control her seizures. He joins us in studio today. Thank you for coming in to talk about this.
Thank you for having me.
So essentially, you've been doing this, but it's been illegal.
Yeah, we've been doing it for 8 months, legally obtaining the dried cannabis with a prescription note from doctor, et cetera, et cetera. It's been illegal to convert it to oil. She doesn't smoke, so it's the only choice.
And tell me about your daughter's life before you gave her, medicinal marijuana, and after.
So if I rewind 9 months to last October, she couldn't really do much. She could barely sit on her own. She was still having seizures. She had been on 8 different medications, anti-epileptic drugs. None of them controlled the seizures. She was having massive subclinical activity, so it's basically like seizing constantly in the brain.
So subclinical activity, meaning seizures are going on, you may not see it.
You don't see it at all, no, but they're happening. So it's basically turmoil and chaos all the time.
And throughout this, your daughter's ability to grow on all levels, emotionally, physically, is stunted.
Yes, her development basically halted. We're continuing with therapy, but she wasn't acquiring skills almost at all.
You were at your wit's end.
We certainly were.
And then you decided to try this medical marijuana. And at first, what did the doctor say, when you said you wanted to do this?
Well, I actually thought about it about 8 months before that, or a year before that, and maybe 14 months. And doctors initially were kind of like, no, there's not enough research. I presented them with a lot of logical arguments, academic sources of data, anecdotal reports. And one of our doctors was kind enough to take the time to comb through all of that and decided that although he couldn't guide me on dosing, he didn't feel it would hurt her in any way, and nothing else was working, so he gave us a prescription.
And how soon did you notice a difference?
Well, we started her on a low dose after I made the first batch of oil and got the lab test results back. The second day, she had a minor seizure. This was mid-November. And then after that, she has not had a seizure since.
Even a subclinical.
Nothing. We had her 17th EEG in January, and it showed no seizure activity at all. Nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel that this is, something that you've provided the quality of life for her? However,
it's great. I mean, she's crawling, she's learning to walk, she's playing with toys, she's feeding herself, she's bothering her brother. Her quality of life is 1,000% increased.
Probably fair to say as a parent, you're going to do whatever it takes.
Of course.
To do that, legal or not legal. But now that it's legal, how does that help you out?
Well, I was willing to do it before, and I did. But now that there's no fear of prosecution, it takes a weight off and hopefully opens the doors to other people having better access and research.
Yeah. Well, it's great to hear that Gwen's doing well. Thank you, Alex, for coming in to share your story.
You're welcome.
My goal for him is to hear his voice, to hear him talk. We just want him to be happy.
This is more than just make it so that he doesn't have seizures anymore. I want him back. I want him to thrive and live and enjoy us. And if a plant can do that, why do we object?
Some of the kids clearly became more verbal, better coordination. I had one child who started walking while they were using the medications.
We instantly saw results. He was smiling again. We noticed the decrease in seizures. He was able to transition. And at this point, he was finally able to gain cognitive skills.
Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of The Cannabis Show. I'm your host, Michelle Davis, with my co-host, Trisha Hall, Miss Fizzbubbles from Dream and Water.
Hello.
Thank you everyone for the likes and the hearts on Facebook. Want to give a shout out to everybody watching. And also as well, happy birthday, Robert. I think your birthday was yesterday. But today on the show, we're going to be emphasizing skincare, the ingredients, how it helps you and your family, and how CBD can also help you as well. I wanted to go ahead and play those videos just to kind of inform people a little bit about how cannabis helps kids. And I do apologize, I didn't say, this may be, viewer discretion is advised, maybe a little too much to look at, but I wanted to provide those videos to truly show you how cannabis oil is helping kids around the world with epilepsy, with autism, with so many things that are just giving them a better quality of life. And from coming from their parents, even better yet, this is something that is just giving all around the family a quality of life. So I just kind of wanted to play those videos for you guys to just show you the physical evidence that's out there that's helping kids with cannabis oil, and how their parents no longer have to put them on pharmaceutical drugs. My good friend Jennifer Ackridge is watching, and her son has autism, and she actually has one of those testimonials. Hey Jen, how you doing? So much love to everybody out there. If you are an advocate, if you agree, please like, please share. We're going to talk about that a little bit today, but first and foremost, Trisha.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, good. So
Awesome.
Trisha is a part of the Strength Sisters. It's my fitness and motivational women's support group. We get together all the time. We have so much fun. And last night we went to Pole Fitness Studio.
We did.
And we had a Texas Burlesque with instructor Imani. And I wanted the women to get together to get out of their comfort zone.
That was way out of my comfort zone.
Do something different and just change it up. And here in Vegas, there's so many fun opportunities to do exactly that.
There is. It was the best.
Yeah, thank you, Danny. He's helping us with the green screen right now. So we're here in Las Vegas. We're at WCOBM.tv. This show is live every second and fifth Thursday of the month from 2 to 3 p.m. And again, if you want more information, you can go to the Cannabis Show on IG. And we also have a giveaway that we want to do. Now, we featured this on the Instagram page, and all you had to do was like Fizz Bubbles and tag one of your friends, and then you get a chance of winning winning this gift basket. So we went ahead and randomly chose someone. And do you want to announce the winner?
Go ahead.
Drum
You announce
roll.
it. You announce it.
It's to Tessa.
Tessa, you won.
Yay! And her sister Tori. So you guys get to have some fun with the Fizz Bubbles.
Yes.
This is gonna definitely make your girls' day. So I saw that Tessa was watching live. I hope she's still watching.
Yeah, there she is.
Congratulations, Tessa. You're now the winner. So, Miss Trisha here is amazing when it comes to her knowledge behind skincare. And I kind of wanted to dive into her educating us, telling us about some of the things that she uses when she makes her skincare line. All the properties and ingredients have certain reasons behind them. She's going to tell us those reasons and secrets today, so it's going to be an exciting show.
Yes.
So Trisha, how long have you been making your own skincare line?
Well, my great-grandma, like I said, was a sharecropper, so she taught me as a child how to formulate salves and products and also to make soap as a child.
Which is so cool.
Essentially, all my life.
I wish my grandmother had taught me some of those things.
Right? I mean, you could see.
My grandmother loves to knit. One of them loves to crochet and knit, and the other one made dolls, which both of them I don't necessarily think is something I wanted to. But I love my grandmothers either way. But that is so cool that your grandmother was a sharecropper. She taught you these secrets.
Yes, and how to formulate using herbs and oils to heal skin conditions like eczema, psoriasis, dry skin.
Do you deal with
skin.
any skin conditions?
I did,
Yeah.
and it's under control now. But when I started formulating products before Dream of Water was born, was when I was going through chelation after I was injured in the Marine Corps, and I was
What's
having
chelation, just in case anyone doesn't know?
Chelation is a form of chemotherapy,
Oh, okay.
kind of pulling the heavy metals out. And,
Right.
Yeah, and so my skin was burning, and the prescription medications they were giving me were making my skin conditions worse. So that's how that started. So formulating that way, and then seeing a need for other people, and then that's how Dream of Water was born. And
So
it's
give us a likes and a follow for anybody watching, because I really, really want to emphasize this show on anybody that deals with dry skin, eczema, psoriasis, things that really, really affects the skin, and you're kind of like, I don't know what to do, or you know someone who's been dealing with it, maybe you want to share this with them.
Yes.
Let's start off with, you have a new product that you just came out with.
The CBD body lotion?
Yes.
Yes. CBD
I
body
love
lotion.
this.
You love it?
I
How did
do.
it feel on your skin?
It felt great. You know, I love the smell mostly,
Grapefruit.
but all the things that's in it, all the ingredients that I was reading.
Right. Well, when you cocoa butter, one of the main ingredients in it, cocoa butter, shea butter, and mango butter. They're like the trifecta of butters.
So
right?
shea butter, cocoa butter, and mango butter.
Yeah, mango.
Wow.
Cocoa butter is going to give you a protective barrier.
Okay.
Shea butter is regenerative to the skin, and mango's an astringent butter, so it actually comes together with the other two, so that's why it draws it into your skin, so it doesn't feel greasy when you
How
apply
many
it.
different butters are there out there? I mean, I'm thinking
Gosh,
of like
there's
coconut
probably
butter.
like 10, 15 different butters off of like Ilia butter, coconut butter.
And where's the best place to go in order to buy these kind of ingredients? Because I'm sure there's lots of,
right,
you know, like organic or.
Yeah, well, I use certified organic and fair trade. So if you're out in Vegas, I'm still learning where you could go locally.
Does anybody know locally in Vegas?
Where to go
Where
out
to
here?
go?
So out here, I wouldn't know because, but
Because she's brand new here.
I
Just
am
moved.
a year. Isn't that crazy?
It is.
Oh my gosh.
But you've been having fun.
I've been having a
with the
blast.
String Sisters.
I've been having a blast.
So every Sunday we work out at LVAC. This week we're going to work out at 1 p.m. instead of 2 because
Awesome.
Tessa can only make 1. But yes, if you're in the area, ladies, you want to join us, let's train LVAC off Maryland, 1 p.m. this Sunday. It's going to be a lot of fun. But anywho, sorry.
No, that's good.
I know,
because we need the more the merrier.
Shout out,
it was
right?
awesome. Yeah. Look, yay for hearts.
Yay. There we go.
Thank you. So then when I use organic sunflower oil, babusa oil.
So sunflower oil, what's that good for?
Sunflower oil is awesome for the high olenic acid that it has in it, so it's just nurturing for dry, sensitive skin or mature skin. And then babusa oil is a great alternative to coconut oil because so many people have an allergy.
What is babusa?
It is.
I've never heard of that
It
before.
is similar in properties to coconut oil, but I use it primarily in a lot of my skincare products because it takes the guessing game out if you're allergic to coconut oil. Some people are, even though coconut oil is awesome and universal. Babusa oil gives those same properties where it leaves your skin hydrated, moisturized like coconut oil would. It actually is a little bit less greasy than coconut oil. And like I said, it alleviates that coconut oil allergy.
So every single one of these ingredients has a certain property that it helps your skin with. And how do you know if these will actually mix all together well? Is that just by trial and error?
Trial and error, and I use Ecomos, which is an EcoCert green emulsifier, because anytime you bring water and oil together, you have to have an emulsifier. So there's several of them out there that people use, but because staying in alignment with being green, Ecomos. So because it is
Ecomos.
Yes. So
you guys learning a little thing or two? I sure am. I don't know about
brings
you,
that in there together. And then, of course, essential oils for the properties. Grapefruit essential oil is awesome for its uplifting, antidepressant, great for cellulite. It's great for skin firming.
Why is it good for cellulite?
Because it helps reduce the orange peel. Look in the skin because it dehydrates it a little bit and helps it. Right there with caffeine's another good one.
Really?
Yeah, caffeine scrubs are
I heard that you could just take coffee scrubs and that caffeine from like ground coffee after you're done, with the coffee machine. Take your grounds, go in the tub,
wrap it in cellophane for a while, and
rub it on your legs. Take a little grapefruit oil. That is so cool.
So they all help, in a natural way to keep your skin healthy and enhanced.
I love that.
And then,
so we're talking about the CBD body lotion grapefruit, which she has lots of products that do not have CBD in it. You can go to fizzbubbles.com and check it out. And we're talking about how cacao butter, mango butter, they emulsify good. They mix, is that the right word? Babusa oil, sunflower oil, Ecomos, how those are good oils. Now, CBD and as well the grapefruit essential oil and what is
Native Press.
Native Press.
It's a natural preservative because that's the other thing. Anytime you bring oil and water together, you have to have a preservative. Now, there's different types of preservative systems. Just because a preservative doesn't mean that it's parabens and all these other things in it. So knowing what your preservative brings, which is Native Press, which is no parabens, no formaldehyde donors or any of those things that we look for and go, oh my gosh, there's urea in this, because a lot of our preservatives, on the not safe skin list have parabens, urea, all that nasty.
That's scary. I was reading that the government lists 13 ingredients in the U.S. that they don't use in skincare, and in Europe they ban 1,300 ingredients.
1,300, I know, because they're so far ahead of us when it comes to skin safety. Wow. Because a lot of people think because the FDA approves something that it's good for you.
Right.
And unfortunately it's not. And like I said, the confusion out there with using preservatives, I don't want to use preservative. You have to if you have water.
Right.
And so you can be selective.
Because everything can go bad eventually.
Oh, it will go bad. I mean,
So another thing I want you guys to know about is that CBD is not going to make you high. It's not one of those things where you think about cannabis and it makes you stoned. CBD is basically a cannabinoid that even in our system, we create these naturally.
Yes.
And what the CBD does is it helps with a lot of pain and inflammation. So if you're dealing with soreness, chronic inflammation, things hurt all the time. Me as a bodybuilder, I'm constantly breaking down muscle fiber. I got that lactic acid. These are the types of things that CBD can help with. So when you want to think about a solution for a pain relief and you don't want to go for the pharmaceutical because of the side effects, think about maybe CBD, because you can do it in a soap, in a lotion, in a topical form, in a tincture, in an edible. There's so many different ways. And I would personally think, now I'm not a doctor, so professionally wise, but the side effects of using CBD versus the side effects of pharmaceuticals would probably be like night and day.
Oh, exactly. I mean, nobody's ever overdosed on CBD.
Right.
and or cannabis. I mean, so, you know, that's important. And because we have, like you were saying, the cannabinoids in our system, we have CB2 receptors that are located right next to the skin. So when you use a topical, like the pain relief cream, the reason you get relief so quickly is because when you put it on where it hurts, that CBD is going straight to the CB2 receptors underneath the skin. And so they come together and work because it doesn't have to go through the bloodstream. It doesn't have to be broken down. You know,
how much CBD should someone use? And if they're using, like, let's say this lotion, and let's say a kid gets a hold of it and uses the lotion, is the kid going to get sick? Is it something that it's going to, you got to take him to the hospital?
No, not at all.
So we're letting everyone know that, you know, CBD in any kind of form. Now, tinctures, I would probably keep anything with CBD in an area that kids cannot get to it.
Right.
But again, I wanted to play that video before we started the show of how cannabis can actually help tremendously with kids with like epilepsy, autism, just things of that nature that honestly are making huge strides in the medical field.
Oh, they are. And, you know, I look at CBD like any other supplement. If you have small children, you wouldn't leave those supplements out because anything in excess, right?
Yes.
And plus the expense of having to repurchase it. You know, because the good thing about CBD is there's no known overdoses or, you know, toxicity with it, but it's the same thing. Now you have to. So just responsible use.
Do you guys have any questions? Hey everyone on Facebook, how you doing? I see Bobby has joined us, so I'm so glad that you guys can come and hang out with us today. I'm looking at the comments. Hi, so many people think there is THC in CBDs. That's
right, and there's not. If it's CBD isolate, which is used, there's no THC in a CBD isolate because it has been completely isolated from everything else. So there's no THC in that at all with the isolate. But that's why it's important. Batch records, lab tested. Ask whoever you're purchasing your products from, do you have batch records? Do you keep lot numbers? Do you lab test? And if so, you know, let me see it.
And also talk to your doctor if you have any questions.
Yes.
I'm sure your doctor would probably not mind talking about these types of things. They've probably talked about everything under the kitchen sink and then some that people are curious about. So again, let's talk about some comments. Even though it's a derivative of the hemp plant, there is no THC. So a lot of people are confused about CBD, hemp, THC. Let's kind of break it down a little bit.
Right.
Let's start with the difference between hemp and CBD.
Okay. Hemp, like, you know how you can go to the store and get hemp seeds?
Yes.
To put in.
Yeah, like you go to Whole Foods and they have hemp seeds. You put chia seeds.
Hemp seed oil is not, and hemp seeds is not CBD oil.
Okay.
There's no CBD in those. So if you go down to Whole Foods and you get a packet of that, there's no CBD in it.
So what's the purpose of hemp? Is it because it's got a good fat in it?
It's got a good fat,
so it's
good
like
protein.
It's a
superfood. Yeah, antioxidant. There's a lot of great things with using hemp. I mean, with that, but CBD coming from an industrial hemp plant, totally different.
Okay, how so?
Because that comes from the stems and leaves of the hemp plant, where
So-
it's cannabinoid rich.
Another thing I learned was that isn't a hemp plant the male plant? What does it make a male and a female?
With the hemp, yes.
So I thought like if it has marijuana, it's a female plant, and then if it's a male plant, it has something of that nature where a hemp plant is the male or the female. Or I know you're going to have to do your homework
I
on
have to
that
do
one.
homework on that one. I do, because so I can, yeah. If anybody
Jean
knows.
says, looks cool. I really like the background. Jean, how you doing over there at your big business meeting?
Hi.
I had some skin issues the doctor could not help, and Trisha came to my rescue. Thanks, Trisha, from Carol Price Bowen.
I'm so glad, Carol. Yeah, she sent me pictures with some really, really horrific.
Those are the pictures you were showing me, I think.
Yeah, that they kept saying we can't help, and
Yeah.
we.
Well,
we
she
were-
can help.
We
and
were.
She did.
No, thank you.
I know, right?
No, because that's my passion, to be able. So she didn't have to use steroid cream. She didn't have to use all these other
Cortisol shots,
because
all that stuff.
chickweed, one of the main ingredients in my healing salve, chickweed, is an instant itch resolver.
Really?
Yeah. Chickweed's better than
She
cortisone
knows so
cream.
much about everything. So we're going to talk more about like the soaps and the
That's one of your favorites, huh?
bath. Oh, I love these after a workout. Let me tell you, these bath bombs are my best friend. Jen, how you doing? I know you're cooking for your mom and everything, staying busy, but you're still working out. You're Michael's #1 client. So some doctors have no clue. They have little to no knowledge of alternative medicine. That includes vitamin knowledge. Absolutely.
Absolutely, they don't. And, because basically it's the same thing when it comes to CBD. If you're pregnant or nursing, no.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And if you are on medications, then you do need to speak to your doctor. Because we're not doctors, nor do we play one on TV.
Yeah, we cannot cure or diagnose or treat anything. We're just giving you our professional opinion and what we feel like has worked for us. I want to give a big shout out to Angela Drake. I follow you, girl, all the time on IG. I love you. 1111 straight to you. She says, cannabinoid rich. Hey Jewel, how you doing? So Jewel Steele is a part of Stereo Love Band with her father and her sister, and so these two sisters sing and their dad's the drummer of Stereo Love. She says, great background, how you doing, girl? So yeah, Jennifer is cooking. She cooks for her mom who has an intestinal issue, and her mother's in a home, and she doesn't want the nurses cooking for her mom, so she is a great daughter cooking for her mom, which is so cool. So thanks everyone on Facebook. Give a likes if you're enjoying what we're talking about today, and that is about Fizz Bubbles, Dreamin' Water, about Trisha and her amazing, amazing skincare line. So let's talk about CBD soap. And again, I don't want you thinking you're going to go in the shower and you're going to come out all high like Cheech and Chong after you scrub one down with the soap, because that is not what this soap does.
Right.
Can you explain a little bit more why people should use your CBD soap?
CBD in soap is really good. Like for me, using CBD, I layer it on and then take it internally in here. So CBD in soap, since it is a rinse off, you're not getting a ton of the properties, but you are getting skin healing, like the people that have eczema, psoriasis, dry skin. So, or people that have restless leg syndrome or problems with
Restless leg syndrome.
Yes, use it. So that helps.
You know what I also want to do? I want to give a shout out to all the veterans out there dealing with PTSD. I learned something the other day that 20 veterans die every day to suicide.
And that number's down from 22.
And that there's a 50% rate that people who go in the military are higher at committing suicide versus people who are not in the military.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, because of the long waits at the VA for lack of access to care, or a lot of times when you come back from overseas, or
Trisha's a veteran from Marine Corps.
Marine Corps veteran,
so,
yes.
Hoorah.
Hoorah.
Giving it to all the veterans out there. So CBD is something that's great to help. Cannabis in general for PTSD
it is.
For veterans is huge. I just think it helps with depression, anxiety, stopping the mind to just relax. I can't even imagine the veterans and what they go through and the support and love that they need. So I'm giving you much love, much support.
Yeah, that anxiety can take over.
Yep.
You know,
So we also have we have Anneli. How you doing? She has a great skincare company. CBD is a natural substance obtained from hemp plants that can promote wellness without any psychoactive or intoxicating effects. It is active compound known as a cannabinoid. Cannabinoid sourced from hemp is much different than from marijuana. By botanical standards, marijuana and hemp are both cannabis. In common terms, marijuana is the named used often for cannabis strains with THC, which produces a high or psychoactive effect. Strains without THC are informally classified as hemp. So, Anneli, you're the best.
Thank you.
Thank you for sending us that. And Carol, been there, done that. Jennifer, she's talking about cooking. So, yeah. Jewel, when are you coming to Vegas? Come on the show and play with your dad and your sister. I love you guys. Stereo love. Mwah. So lots of people on Facebook watching. We're talking about skincare, how CBD can help. Here with Trisha Hall, Miss Fizzbubbles from Dream and Water. Go to fizzbubbles.com and just look at the testimonial page. It is out of this world, all the people that she has helped. And trust me, if you deal with a skin condition, don't think this is permanent. Don't think this is the way it is. That's not good enough. You don't want to settle, and you definitely want to try something that's not going to give you any kind of side effects. For instance, my better half has had tons of eczema for so long, and he went and got cortisol shots like every other week. I could tell something was not right. He was really edgy. He couldn't just something wasn't right. And I told him, let's go to the doctor, let's get you checked out. I went and I made an appointment, and I literally dragged him in by his ear into the doctor's office. And believe it or not, his blood pressure was so high that they had to give him a medication to lower it, or else they were going to send him to the ER. And that was from his cortisol shot because of his skin condition. So again, that's the dangerous risk that a lot of doctors don't really think about when they want to treat something. There might have a side effect. The pharmaceutical, just pharma in general, every doctor I feel like wants you on pills and drugs, and just take this, it will fix the problem, and that's it. And that's a Band-Aid. That's BS, and that's kind of one of the reasons I started this show.
Right. Yeah, because it's as far as alternate healing, I mean, I've been pro cannabis and pro CBD since 2008.
That's awesome.
And so before CBD became, mainstream, and that's what has kept me from using, any kind of prescription pain medications.
It's tough.
It is because when I got hurt, I was on such high.
She has a metal plate in her head, unfortunately, when she was in service, so she deals with she did deal with lots of cognitive issues, which, girl, she was at Burlesque last night, dancing pole, there we go. And she was having fun.
I was.
And you take your social media seriously because you have a very serious Periscope following that you've been doing every day for 3 years. And this is the kind of thing that when you have a company and you have a following and you have people that really support you, you definitely take it to the next level, which is cool.
Well, and it's been such a blessing because that's how my business has grown since November 2015 to where I am here now in Las Vegas. Has been from word of mouth and repeat customers.
Right.
And that's a blessing to me.
So I have a little special I wanted to share with you guys, a little secret that Trisha and I are working on. And that is we're going to have yoga soulful. I don't know if it's Saturday or Sunday, but we're going to have yoga sessions where any women in Vegas want to come together, and we're basically going to do yoga. Trisha is going to help with teaching you how to make your own bath bomb or something, bath salts, and we're basically just going to have a soulful day of getting together and feeling wonderful and beautiful. And we haven't shared it yet on our IG, but it's in the near future, and I'm so excited to just have a group of women get together and we can just be mindful and stretch and feel great. And
Absolutely.
I have so many ideas, like motivational speakers and having Trisha share all of her knowledge with all of you guys. So stay tuned. That's kind of something in the Strength Sisters folder we're going to be bringing out and opening up to share with all of you guys. So it's something down the road we're really looking forward to.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Because, we need that where women truly do come together and mean it.
Yes, that's something that you've kind of expressed that I know you want to talk about, and it's something I think a lot of women deal with, especially like in the workforce, is that catty, bitchy, catfight behavior where not a lot of women can let their guard down and just be real,
Right.
and honestly stop the comparing and the competing and just like appreciate how beautiful every woman out there is. I think there's too many people out there who compare themselves too much, spending too much time on social media or something.
Yeah, that and just, I don't know. I mean, because really that's what we need to do. I mean, we could run the world. I mean, it's not a cliche.
I do feel
Beyonce
like
said that
women
we
can run the world like Beyonce.
Yeah.
Run the world,
Run the
girls. We run.
Right.
So when the Strength Sisters get together and we train, it's so fun that I definitely think we should take it and have a day where we stretch and we do breathing exercises and we learn from one another and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's something down the road we're working on. But yeah, if you're watching on Facebook Live, hey everyone, how you doing? Thanks for watching the Cannabis Show. We talked a little about how cannabis helps kids, and we're talking about how CBD can help with skincare. And here with Miss Fizz Bubbles, let's talk a little bit about the bath bombs.
These are your favorite, huh?
I love bath bombs. My friend Tessa and I, we did yoga and we sat in the sauna and we did some whole body vibration, and then afterwards we both jumped in the bath. Yes, we were both clothed. Don't think it was like a nude party. But
We jumped in the bath.
We jumped in the bath and we put this in there, and it like was so invigorating because whatever's in this stuff makes your muscles not sore ever.
There's the main thing here is it's a heavy dose of 60 milligrams of CBD, which I think you need at least 60 milligrams to fill it, and then the cocoa butter, and then
How long does this make you to? How long does it take for you to make?
Start to finish. By the time I press them out by hand, and they're ready to package 4 days.
So if we had like a 1 hour workshop, this would be pretty difficult to teach. How to,
No, I mean making one that doesn't have a ton of the extras like I've got. You know,
what would you ladies like to learn how to make? Would you like to learn how to make bath bombs, salt scrubs?
Yeah, we can make
lip balm.
Lip balm. We can do.
What's something you would like to learn how to make? So if you were to come to one of our workshops, one of our Strength Sisters workshops, what's something that you would love to learn? Let us know in the comments below.
Very fun, healing salts. But so that, and then you have your cocoa butter and sodium bicarbonate and citric acid, pretty much, and oats.
Oats. Now tell me about the oats. What's good about that?
Oats.
Because I'm like, do you eat them?
Do you eat them?
Is it
right?
oatmeal?
Oats,
Like in your cards?
Oats are really good for soothing your skin. And
I've heard of an oatmeal mask before.
Yeah, they're great for that. Oh, we can do those too, or activated charcoal masks. Or don't get me started.
That would
they're
be,
going.
that would
we
be
could
fun.
do this. We could we can make a ton of stuff. It'll be fun. But that's why it's got a healthy dose of that. And then I use sunflower lecithin in it because that emulsifies it, so you saw it didn't stay in the tub, right?
Oh, okay.
It dispersed through it.
It did, yeah.
And sunflower lecithin, because not that I'm anti-soy, but I'm kind of, because I use Hexon with soy lecithin. So
what's what's problem with Hexon in soy?
Well, Hexon's just a solvent, and so anything you can use without a solvent when they extract it is better, in my opinion.
And I heard that soy is probably like GMO.
Yeah, and a hormone disruptor.
I've seen myself get inflamed from eating too many soybeans at the sushi place. I mean, there's certain things I'm like, why is this giving me a stomach ache? So,
and it's a hormone disruptor at times because soy they use for, can throw off your estrogen for just.
So no soy milk? I don't know. Who
I
out there
don't
are
think
soy
so.
enthusiasts? Do we have any soy
Any
enthusiasts?
soy enthusiast? I don't know.
That would be
Send that
biased?
one.
Let us know.
But so that's why it dispersed through the water. Is the sunflower lecithin. So
Interesting.
So then you actually get it in there. And sunflower lecithin is shown to have a better effect of drawing CBD into your skin when it comes to topicals.
That is so cool. You really know your stuff. You're like a chemist. Basically, you have your lab.
I'm my lab, and
you have your chemistry coat, and you got your geek glasses.
Right, I know, right?
And
That's pretty much. Yeah, no.
just a hot mess.
I am a hot mess. I do hot mess so well. Let me tell you. No, Trisha the chemist. Oh my goodness.
I know, right?
I'm always on a quest for knowledge, because if I don't know something, I'm always making sure, the latest data on herbs or essential oils, or checking to see what possibly it interacts with or what it might. So when I give information, that it can help send somebody the right way. Because Google and YouTube are only as smart as what we know to put in it.
Yes.
So you can go down black holes all the time.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
I'm the queen of rabbit holes. That's why one of my friends on here calls me Alice, because I can do that. And I want to see anybody else have to do that. Especially when you're trying to make a decision, because there's so much out there with CBD that people are confused.
Yeah, I see CBD everywhere. I see all sorts of companies, and I'm wondering what's the difference between this stuff and this stuff. I mean, and there is a difference. You have to really do your research and your homework. Ask your friends, ask your doctors, do your homework. I know that you've been testing your products for so long. What's your number one product that you sell?
In the CBD would be, it's kind of a toss-up, but the Revive, the one that you're using.
I love that one.
This one I just launched, the body butter, but this one's one of my top seller, and the tinctures.
Cool.
Mine are top sellers with that, but this, and then I'd say this one's second. You asked me which was
So
the
what's
top.
this?
This is a awesome salve.
Awesome salve.
I call it awesome salve. That's all from herbs.
You can't really smell it.
Right, that's just herbs.
Yeah, I don't.
Just herbs.
So this would be like Vaseline, I guess, and
it'd be kind of
similar
consistency.
form?
Yeah, it'd be that with beeswax and oils and butters.
That's so cool.
To have that same, but you can try it if you want.
Very smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I have.
So I use CBD a lot on my fingers. When I lift weights, especially on my thumbs, I can really feel it after a long day. Like when I go, you know what, it's probably being on my cell phone too much too.
That could be it.
Going like this, and then I feel my joints in my thumbs. Anybody out there, same problem?
Yeah, over there they do. So that's why with this one, but if you see, you can pronounce all of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 4 ingredients on there.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep.
So what do you guys think, huh? Oh, Jennifer, you're fabulous too, Miss Thang.
This one's for you.
Oh, thank you.
I gotta keep her in CBD over here.
So if you guys are interested, please go to fizzbubbles.com. We're here and we're promoting skincare line with the Trisha Hall. She is the owner and founder of Dream in Water, which Dream in Water and Fizz Bubbles is kind of the same thing, but don't ask her why.
Right.
But last but not least, we're going to talk about the CBD spray tincture and
the one
what's the difference between, they all have CBD in them, but you're asking yourself, where do I start? If I've never used any of these products and I want to start really small, which one do I use and which ailment is it going to help with?
Well, the CBD spray tincture, this one 1,000 milligrams, a lot of times when we're suffering from severe anxiety or panic attacks, it's very challenging to get this open and do your dropper.
Okay.
What I like about the spray tinctures is 3 sprays is equal to 1 dropper full, a milliliter.
If someone is having a panic attack, how long would that take in order for it to take an effect?
Well, for me, when I use it, with less than 30 seconds.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
When I spray it and then, pull back and go, okay, go through it, okay, and then reset, about 30 seconds.
And a lot of people have anxiety for so many different reasons. For me, driving You
Yes.
know, driving places I don't know where I'm going. It used to be even as bad as before I did yoga and my breathing and my affirmations. It was hard for me to leave the house.
Right.
You know, don't ask me why. You know what? Honestly, even the days when it was like 115 degrees out, I would get anxiety like leaving the house. Like, do I have everything? Do I need everything?
Yeah, it becomes overwhelming to where you almost don't want to leave.
But it almost But it almost comes down to, where did this anxiety start? And it started with me when I got in a terrible car accident when I was 15. That I literally killed 2 friends in the car, and ever
Sorry to
since,
hear that.
thank you. And ever since then, I've always kind of had that in the back of my head. I know I can get over it. I know I can do this. Why am I feeling this way? And instead of, when I have anxiety, I can get angry and mad. When I'm scared, I get angry. Some of these feelings around fear and just worry and stress, this builds on fear to the point where I feel like sometimes I can't even move.
Yeah.
So I just take baby steps. I always make sure that morning routines are so important to have.
They are. That starts your whole day.
And ultimately, it all depends on what you feel like is right. What's calling to you? Ask your friends, do your research, ask your doctor. CBD is not going to get you high. Okay? I want to make sure I emphasize that heavily. It's
Yes.
something that's definitely going to help your joints, soreness, inflammation, anxiety. Can CBD help depression and anxiety as well as cannabis does, or is it something that?
Well, you know, sometimes I believe it does. To answer your question before I went over there, I believe sometimes that cannabis can exacerbate.
Make it worse.
Yeah.
I absolutely
anxiety.
agree. I do also, let's say it out there, that cannabis is a drug. It is an addicting drug, and if you take too much of it, it has some bad side effects.
It does.
Like causing more anxiety, like becoming more depressed. Certain people think, oh, if I do more, it's going to help. It actually does worse.
Yeah, it can actually, just make it the anxiety through the roof.
Right.
You know, then the heart's pounding because you're overly and yeah.
Just like everything else. You look at alcohol or any of the other drugs, moderation is key.
It is.
Yes.
It is. So I believe you have to know your strains when it comes to cannabis.
Yep.
And knowing if that's a strain that's going to actually, you know, increase your chance of more anxiety, especially with panic, you know.
So the indica and the sativa and the different strains, and is it an upper, is it a downer,
yeah.
what does it do? All of these are very, very vital for you to know and do your research and find out. So other than that, we've had a good show. We've gone over all the products, the soaps, the lotions, the salves, the tinctures, the bath bombs. We did our giveaway. And other than that, if anybody is interested in hanging out with us, Sunday, 1 p.m., LVAC on Maryland, Strength Sisters, we're going to work out. So ladies, come and join our fitness family. Yeah.
Come join. We can get strong together.
I'm thinking, like, what else should we do next? Should we do some, now I know hot yoga is a little out of the question, but I'm thinking regular yoga.
Regular yoga would be awesome.
Would be fun.
Hot yoga, no, if that's any indication like last night, no.
Yeah. But thank you for the comments, everybody, and thank you for hanging out with us, and thank you so much for just being a part of our show. If you'd like more information, go to the Cannabis Show on Instagram. We're live every second and fifth Thursday of the month from 2 to 3 p.m. right here in Vegas on WCOBM.tv.
Yes, you have comments.
Yeah.
What did they say?
Old hand syndrome. That's what CBD is good for, that Jennifer says.
Oh, okay.
So thank you all for the comments.
Thank
High
you.
five. Love you, Trish.
I love you too.
All right, guys and ladies, we'll see you next
you.
time. Have a great day, and thanks to Danny Vegas.
Thank you so much.
For doing a great job running the board. Scott,
you.
looking forward to having you back next week. Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.